Welcome back to Magic TV. My name's Craig. It is 9 o'clock on a Wednesday and it's time for Hidden Gems. This is one of my favourite videos of the whole week right here on Magic TV. This is where I take an old trick, like it could be a trick in an Alakazam Academy or a Penguin Live or an At the Table or a Vanishing Ink Masterclass, and I talk to you about why it's so amazing. Sometimes it might be a trick out of a book, sometimes it might be a product. Because here's the thing, and I talk about this an awful lot on Hidden Gems, but I'm going to say it again. We stand on the shoulders of giants, and as a community, we always race forward looking for the latest and greatest trick that we're going to be able to use to wow our audiences. We think that we're going to become famous and successful by having that one trick that's going to make us stand out above and beyond everyone else. But it's not really about that trick. A lot of the time, it's about personality, right? And it's about being likable and nice and working hard and so on and so forth. And really, there's some amazing tricks from years gone by that are just as good as the tricks that are released now, if not better, but we don't know about them because when we come into Magic and we're new, we see all of the latest things coming out through Penguin and Murphy's and so on and so forth, and when you refresh the what's next or what's coming soon, it's always new tricks every single day, new tricks are coming out, and so we forget about the stuff that's come out 6 months ago, that's come out a year ago, that's come out 2 years ago, and sometimes those tricks are the best tricks, and this is a perfect example. This has been in my repertoire, this has been in my working set since as far back as I can remember. In fact, I'm going to play a video for you in a bit of me performing this from a very, very, very long time ago. But this is called Tornado, and you can get this directly from Penguin Magic. It's by Rick Lax. Now, I know Rick Lax is loved and hated in equal measure by various different people, but there was a time when he was the darling of the internet and he was releasing nothing but amazing tricks. This is a perfect example. So Tornado by Rick Lax is great. Now, when you buy it from Penguin, you get enough cards to practice it, I think about 10 or 15 times, maybe more. You destroy 2 cards every time you do this trick. However, you can get refill packs, and the refill packs are very inexpensive, and you get a full deck of cards, and I think there's enough to do 25, 30 performances, something like that. And you know what? It's something that I have in my top pocket, and I'm ready to do it at a moment's notice, and it is incredible. So I'm going to perform it for you right now. It's a trick with 2 cards. It's very easy to follow because it just uses 2 cards. We've got a 4 of spades, and we've got a 7 of diamonds, but really, you don't need to remember the values of the cards. Just remember that one's red and one is black, and obviously the backs of the cards are red. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this card, the 4, and I'm going to tear it, and I'm going to tear it into 6 pieces. And I want you to see that this is not a topological illusion. This is not a joke. This is not an illusion. I really am tearing that card right there into 6 pieces. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I'm pretty sure you would agree. There's no ambiguity here. That is 100% 6 pieces of card, which is important. Now, what I'm going to do is, if you were here with me, I would have you hold out your hand and I would give you one of the pieces. So let's just pretend that there's an invisible person here and they're holding on to one of the pieces of card. They're holding on to that piece of the 4 right there. The rest of the pieces we can put down for now. We don't need them, or we could give them to somebody to hold on to. The only important piece, the only important thing is this piece that that person is holding tightly in their hand. Now, we also have this 7 of diamonds, and I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to tear this card into 6 pieces as well. And once again, your job is to watch as I tear and make sure that I'm not cheating, make sure I'm doing nothing sneaky, make sure I'm doing nothing dodgy, make sure I am doing what I say I'm doing, which is tearing that card up just like that. So we're not even going to use the rest of the pieces of the 7. They're going to go away. The only piece that's important is this piece right here. And it happens on the count of 3. And I want you to focus your attention right here. Watch the piece. One small piece. It's actually a 1/6 of a playing card. One small piece. Watch that card right there and don't blink because it happens on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. And when I open, what happens is that piece actually turns right there into the 4. Now, that's kind of interesting because the 4 was being held by you. And now it's not. I mean, how weird's that? You know, you were holding on to a 4, but now the 4's over here, which can only mean one thing. And they then open up their hand, and when they do, they realize that now in their hand they're holding on to the 7, and then you give them the pieces as a souvenir, or they can throw them on the floor or whatever. I typically just take these bits and bobs and bin them, and that is Tornado. The routining behind this is genius. Now, let me explain what's so good about this. So first of all, you know, there's a million different ways to do a transposition, but normally they involve a full deck of cards. This particular routine just uses 2 specially gimmicked cards, which means it's very easy to laser focus yourself on exactly what's happening. There's 2 cards. They focus their attention on those 2 cards. The magic happens in the hands of the spectators. They're holding onto that piece, and they are convinced, because how you've torn the card and because your hands are completely empty, they are convinced that that piece is what they're holding on to. There's no, you know, like sometimes you might do a sponge ball routine, or you might get them to hold a coin or an elastic band, and they may be suspicious because you're a magician. There's nothing suspicious about this. They are convinced that they're holding on to a 7. Then whatever card it is they're holding on to. Then you take the other card and you tear that equally cleanly, and it really is a very fair tear. And then when you've torn it very, very cleanly, you've got that lovely visual change. And if I'm performing up here, I do the change like that. If I'm performing around here and everyone's looking down at the hands, I do the change like that. Either way, the change looks absolutely fantastic. And then when the change is done, you immediately, because of the clever routine that Rick Lax has built into this, immediately you give them the cards and they look at them and they examine them, and there's absolutely nothing to find in any way, shape or form. And it really is that strong. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, it's super commercial. Now, when I do this, I take in my gig bag, in my close-up bag, a pack of Tornadoes. And when I'm going to a gig, I'll just drop 3 sets into my top pocket, which means that the 3 sets are in my top pocket, and I can take a set out and I can do it 3 times in a night. It's also the perfect EDC item. You can just chuck a couple of cards into your wallet and you're ready to take it out at a moment's notice and do the trick. Everything is examinable at the end. Even though every piece isn't examinable, the 2 pieces that they focus on are examinable, and then the rest you just throw away in a bin, and nobody thinks twice about it. So it's called Tornado. It's by Rick Lax. Let's have a quick look at a performance of this. I'm going to show you a video of me performing this at an actual gig.
Wow, you like the key master.
I am the key master. Key master. Right.
Britain's Got Talent.
Britain's Got Talent. Right, guys, check this out. I'm going to show you a trick with just 2 cards. Okay, just 2 cards. It's not about the cards. That's not what it's important. It's a 7. There's a 4 and a 7. That's not important. What's important is what I do with them. It was Liz, right? Yeah. Liz, I'm going to take one of these cards, and I'm going to put that card in your hand. And even though you're going to hold on to it carefully, I'm going to take it out without you realising it. I'm telling you what's going to happen before it happens. Watch. Put that right there. And watch. Hold your hand out for me. The problem is, you have little hands, I have a big card. If I put this in your hand, even if I put it in my hand, there's no way to fit it in completely. So I'm going to tear this up into 6, and I'm even going to tell you how this works. Have you ever seen Indiana Jones, the film? You know the bit in the film where there's an idol on a weighted plinth? And what he has to do is he has to get that idol off the plinth, but if he takes it off, it sets off the movement, yeah? So what he does is he takes a bag of sand, and the bag of sand is the same weight as the plinth. So what happens is he switches the bag of sand with the idol, and it doesn't set off the movement. I'm going to do a similar thing. I have 6 pieces of card. I'm going to give you one of these pieces, and your job is to squeeze it tightly. Make sure I don't get that 4 out of your hand. Turn your hand, keep your hand like that. Now I'm going to put the other pieces on the back of your hand here, so that we can remind ourselves what's in there. Now I've got the 7. I'm going to tear this 7 up into 6. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a piece of this, and I'm going to use it to switch out that piece of 4 without you realising it, okay? So keep an eye on the 7, keep an eye on her hand, make sure your hand doesn't open. I'm going to take that piece out. 3, 2, 1. Now I've got the piece of the 4. If I've got the piece of the 4, open up your hand and show everybody. turn it over. And you've got the 7.
This is your speechless.
Speechless. Unless you've got nail marks and key marks and face marks in my hand where I've had it that time.
Excuse me, Dave.
So there you go, guys. That's another hidden gems in the bag. Do me a favour. Let me know what you think. Do you have Tornado? Do you not have Tornado? What do you think of it? I would love to know. Do you perform it? Do you not perform it? Have you tried it? Are you going to give it a go now I've told you about it? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget, if you want to see more videos like this, like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you haven't already done so, go check out the Netrix. It's www.thenetrix.com. It's my online streaming platform for magicians, and we upload content on there all of the time. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. My name's Craig from Magic TV. You all right?